Wiggles.
I'm Greg.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Murray. I'm Anthony.
I'm Sam.
I'm Emma.
I'm Simon.
I'm Lucky.
I'm Sahar. I'm Evie.
I'm John.
I'm Katarina. I'm Lucia.
G'day everyone. This is Wiggly Fan 2001 here. Now, I don't usually upload on the channel that often like I used to because, well, I have a job now, so I can't really upload as much. But this is a bit of a special video because last time I checked, the channel is currently at 3,000 subscribers. Thank you all. I very much appreciate it. The channel started in about, well, it's actually been about almost 4 years since I started the channel. I created the channel back in March of 2021, but I didn't start uploading videos until October that year. And it's been a pretty good ride so far. So thank you all for 3,000 subscribers. I still remember for 1K posting the Australian VHS of Here Comes the Big Red Car, the opening, closing, and the full rip in high quality, which I am very proud of owning. So for this 3K sub special, I want to do something a little bit different this time around. I thought about this idea for a while, and I thought, hey, why don't we do a Wiggles tier list, but based on the members? Now, some of you may have an idea of what my tier list is probably going to be, considering my opinions on some of the members have kind of drastically changed since I started the channel. But with that being said, we're just gonna get right into it, shall we? So first off, we got Greg. Bit of an obvious one, S tier, because, well, he's my childhood legend. I mean, who doesn't love Greg? He's an amazing vocalist for the OG era, and he's just a fantastic wiggle. Like, everyone loves him. Murray, Mazza is a fantastic guitarist. Like, I have to say, like, he's just amazing. Who doesn't love Murray? He's just fantastic. Jeff, definitely S tier, bro. Like, the keyboard goat right here, man. Like, look at him. He may be a sleepy fella, but an amazing keyboardist. Literally the MVP, bro. Amazing. All right, Anthony, S tier. Now, I know what you may be thinking. I know Anthony's kind of really not doing much, considering that he's been part of he's still the longest running original Wiggle for the last 30 years, but the OG era was at its prime. I really miss the very spontaneous and energetic Anthony, but he's still legendary. I'll still commend him for being the longest running Wiggle. Okay, now, Sam.
But we're happy about something else. We're happy to welcome Sam, the new Yellow Wiggle. Hi, everybody. It's great to be here.
Sam is one of a kind, y'all. He is definitely S tier for me. Not just because he is severely underrated, but his era is underrated, and not to mention he was a fantastic Wiggle filling in for Greg. And he was also a Manzilla as well. He did some of the backing vocals for some of the albums. He is just amazing. Like, he was a fantastic Wiggle for his era, and he is just an amazing person. Who doesn't love Sam? Everyone, like, Sam did a fantastic job. Everyone loves Sam. Alright, next one. Emma, the first ever female Wiggle for the Australian lineup at the time. This was 2013, mind you. All right. Emma was pretty good. She was a fantastic first female Wiggle. I kind of prefer the very early Emma era for starters. The later Emma era was kind of where Emma took a huge nosedive. I'll give her maybe A tier because, I mean, don't get me wrong, she was a fantastic Wiggle and she's so lovely as a person, but Emma was good, but there's something about her that, like, she really had a lot of personality in the early Emma era. The later Emma era, not so much. Alright, next up, Lockie. Lockie was pretty good. He's an amazing pianist, and he had a lot of inventing skills in the early Emma era. And not to mention, I forgot to mention, Emma was Fairy Larissa in the Dorothy series as well. Lockie was Captain Feathersword in the Dorothy series. Lockie was pretty good. I loved his inventing hobby. He's still the longest running current Purple Wiggle. Emma replaced Greg, and Lockie replaced Jeff after 2012. Lockie was pretty good. His singing is not too bad, although I'm probably gonna maybe give him, I'd say probably a B tier. Yeah, probably definitely a B tier, because, like, I'm not really fond of Lockie that much. I'll just say that much. Simon's a bit of a pretty interesting one. He was a Manzilla. He was a gremlin in Woohoo Gremlins, and he's honestly just an amazing, amazing Manzilla as a backing vocalist. He's a pretty good Red Wiggle. He replaced Murray after 2012, and he's not bad. Although I'm kind of leaning to put him towards B tier because he's not really my cup of tea. Like, his opera city is not too bad. It is pretty good, but it's just kind of somewhere in the middle ground for me. Emma was pretty good though. Alright, now, this is where it gets pretty interesting. Okay. Sahai! Yo! Sahai! She is fantastic, y'all. She's fantastic. Sahai is an amazing dancer, and she replaced, Emma just after she retired at the end of 2021. And Sahai she's a fantastic dancer. She is an amazing singer, amazing dancer. Her choreography is actually on point. I love the way that she really shines when she's in the yellow skivvy. Is just amazing. Definitely S tier for me. Okay, now this is where you could you all of you could probably already tell what's gonna come up next, and you probably already know by now. Those of you who know me well enough by now, y'all would probably already know what this next one is, and this may be very, very, very obvious for some of you. Now, this is Anthony's daughter, Lucia Field, the second Blue Wiggle. She is S tier without question. She is amazing. Her painting is fantastic. Her ballet dance is brilliant. Her singing is just amazing. Her drumming is fantastic. And seeing her as a Wiggle alongside her father, her dad Anthony, if you didn't know, she's the daughter of Anthony. She is just amazing. Now, those of you may already know, I am a big fan of Lucia. I have a massive crush on her. She is just an amazing Wiggle. She has a beautiful personality. She is so cute. Same with Sai. And she is just amazing. Like, Like, I honestly, like, Lucia is also so lovely to talk to. She's really amazing with her fans, the children, the older fans especially. She's just 100% amazing. Like, genuinely the most amazing girl ever. Like, literally, like, without a doubt. Okay, moving on to the next one. Evie. Now, this may come as a bit of a surprise to you, to most of you guys who are watching this, but I'd honestly give Evie S tier. Now, you might be wondering why. Well, it's because her Aboriginal culture is amazing. Seeing an Aboriginal wiggle is just amazing to see, considering that we had the late Jimmy Little in It's a Wiggly Wiggly World, who did the Morningtown Ride song for the video and the album. And honestly, seeing Evie in yellow and having the red and yellow stripes on her skirt and on her bow to show her Aboriginal heritage is just amazing. And her Aboriginal culture is just so inspiring. And considering that she had been with the Australian Ballet School for several years, and she recently left, and it has become a full-time Yellow Wiggle this year, it's just amazing to see. Like, she's already gotten so popular with all the children and even the older fans because they all love Evie now. And Evie is honestly who I'd consider to be one of the most loveliest Wiggles alongside Sahai and even Lucia for that matter. Evie is just amazing. She's so lovely. She has an amazing personality just like Sahai and Lucia, and she's just fantastic. Like, I honestly really love Evie. Like, she is amazing. Alright, next up, Katarina. Now, Katarina is a bit of an interesting one because she had been with the Wiggles as a choreographer and as a Wiggly dancer originally, and as a pirate crew member. As a pirate crew member in Captain Belisau's pirate crew. So, and it made sense for Katarina to be the second Red Wiggle alongside Simon like 20 years later or something like that. But the thing is, I don't really like Katarina's singing as much. She has somewhat of a personality, but Katarina is just a bit of a mixed bag for me. Because honestly, her singing sometimes is pretty off-key, and her choreography is kind of not a bit too complex for my liking. I honestly prefer, in terms of choreography, Lucia, because if you didn't know, in The Sound of Christmas, the video from like 2 years ago that came out, the newest Wiggles Christmas video, Lucia was listed as one of the choreographers for the Sound of Christmas, and she is one of the current choreographers. So I'm gonna just have to give Katarina, I'd say, I'm just gonna put like D tier, because I mean, she's a pretty good Wiggle, but it's just, I don't know, it's a bit of a mixed bag for me. It's kind of hard to explain. Okay, next up, John. Okay, John, I'm not trying to offend him by any means, but John is kind of a bit of a mixed bag. His personality as a Wiggle is interesting. He doesn't really have that much of a talent apart from, like, you know, weightlifting and all this, but he does kind of play guitar a bit and a bit of drums like Katarina does. Well, Katarina mainly plays guitar in some of the videos, and Katarina does have a red motorcycle that she drives around, but John is kind of maybe D tier. Like, I'm not really a big of a fan of John compared to some people, but I'm just gonna give him D tier for that without blabbering on too much. Okay, this is where it gets more interesting. Philip Wiltshire. Now, most of you might not know Philip Wiltshire, so for those who don't, Philip was he was supposedly supposed to be the fifth Wiggle, when they did the debut album. If you don't remember the 1921 album, the very first album that they did, Philip was a part of that. But because he was more of a composer, he was more of a classical music composer, so he wasn't really into the children's entertainment industry. So he practically left after the first album, but people still fondly remember him from his commitments from the first album. And from what I've seen of Philip, he is an amazing composer. And he knows a lot about music theory. And I would have to say S tier, 100%. Philip is one of the most underrated Wiggles cast members. Well, I know he's not obviously a cast member because he was only there for the first album, but he rarely gets talked about. Same with Sam Moran. These two are just undeniably underrated, without any question. Okay, next up, Kelly. Now, I'm not really fond of Kelly. And for those of you who saw my channel intro, I know I have forgotten Kelly. I've gotten one comment from a subscriber of mine saying, "Oh, you forgot Kelly." Well, there's a reason why I didn't include Kelly in my channel intro and my outro and just basically everywhere on the channel. There's a reason for that. It's not because I hate Kelly. It's just she is not my cup of tea. Her skateboarding wasn't that great, and she never really lasted that long as a Wiggle. It was only for a month, maybe 2 months. It didn't even last a year at that point. And Kelly never really showed that much of her talents. She's practically one of the most forgotten Wiggles, and nobody really talks about Kelly. I can see why, but Kelly is just, she's not bad, but she's kind of one that I'm very kind of neutral towards her, because her personality and just everything wasn't really there. Why would somebody do skateboarding as a Wiggle? That's just kind of a bit kind of weird. No offense to Kelly, she did her best, but there's a reason why I never included Kelly in the first place, because I'm just pointing it out there. She wasn't really my cup of tea. She wasn't really recognized by a lot of people when the 8 Wiggles theme started and then version 1 of the Sahai era became a thing. So I'm going to just be honest and put her in C tier. I'm sorry, but I know that it's going to sound a bit biased, but that's just my honest opinion on Kelly, because Kelly is just, yeah, I'm not trying to be harsh, but Kelly's just not my cup of tea. But yeah, that's basically my ranking for every Wiggle, former, past, and present. Or no, former and current. And I'm not sure if most of you guys in the comments are going to agree with this. I know some of you might have different opinions. And for those of you who are into the original Wiggles and only the Sam era, I can completely understand that. But for those of you who are into the Wiggles no matter what era, I would highly appreciate that, because there are a lot of people that I've seen that are really into the OG and the Sam era. So I'm just hoping you guys can appreciate this ranking here. I worked hard on this special for 3K, so I'm hoping you guys will somewhat appreciate it. But anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you all so much for 3,000 subscribers, and I will catch you all in the next video. This is Wiggly Fan 2001 signing off. Peace.
I'm Greg.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Murray.
I'm Anthony.
I'm Sam.
I'm Emma.
I'm Simon.
I'm Lucky.
I'm Sahai. I'm Evie.
I'm John.
I'm Katarina. I'm Lucia.